think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Welcome back to Hypothetically Podcast. This is episode 4. In today's episode, but yeah, we're back. It's episode 4. It's a little late. We actually don't have a consistent time, so Above was somewhat telling me to get the hell on because we need to record our 4th episode.
Motherfucker slept for 3 hours instead of 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's okay though.
It's fine. We're back. We're here for episode 4. And episode 4, and even though I said episode 3 was gonna be a banger, episode 4 is definitely gonna be a banger. This is not even about a game in specific. This is about. Oh, actually, this gives me a perfect time to incorporate the topics. Not planned.
But they're not even ready for episode 5. That's just gonna bang even harder.
True. Yeah, but if episode 5 is gonna bang harder. But yeah, this episode is gonna be dopamine detox, which is something that it's if you know what it is before, you probably know what it is. But it's how to trick your brain into doing difficult things. I said doing twice somehow. And it's OP. All I'm saying, if you're one of these people who's like, how the hell do people read? You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there like reading books has got to be so boring. Like how could you read books all day? And you ask those people like, why do you find books fun? Like a lot of people say books are fun to read, and you're one of the people who don't read books. Well, if you didn't know, reading books is literally the power. Books is power. It's knowledge. You gain power and knowledge from reading books.
Knowledge.
So, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's what the brief understanding what dopamine detox is. It's super OP. You might want to listen to that subject. And it says creating a healthy environment. Above came up with this topic. By the way, he's goated for it because this is like the approach to the game. And like if you have an unhealthy relationship with the game or a healthy relationship or a medium or whatever it is, where you stand in terms of like your goals and what like an example would be like if you play Valorant or Fortnite. I'm sorry. Some stuff is happening behind the scenes. He thinks he's funny. If you play Valorant or Fortnite, and, you know, you're constantly getting angry at the game, you're constantly, like, saying the game's trash, and you're pointing out the game's flaws, it's gonna like, very, very much keep you from hitting your goals. So just keep a note that, like, everybody rages, and just don't be upset with the game. If you don't want to be upset, you can be upset with yourself. I can be fine with that, but... And then the other one is the responsibility of putting in work to the game, which is meaning like if you have an ideal goal that may be far away or you know that like this goal is going to take some time and you have long-term goals, know that like you have to learn the repercussions of it. It's going to affect your life a lot.
It's going to ruin your life, man.
So, yeah, the first one, which Above is he's probably not going to be talking here because he has no clue what this is. He knows the gist of it, but it goes into deep.
It's Gabe's topic.
Yeah, it's Gabe's topic. It's Gabe's time. Gabe time. So this one's going to be dopamine detox, right? So I gave you a brief understanding. Dopamine detox it's like this, right? The best example I can give is the one that everybody suffers from. So it's whenever you get a text message on your phone, or you no matter where you're at, honestly, if you get a text message on your phone, you hear the ring, and your brain starts to trigger an effect. It's done this before several times, and it's what creates an addiction. So it hears the ring, and you're like, oh, my phone ringed, and now you go to grab your phone, right? And then you look at the text, you look at whatever it is, whatever the notification was, and if somebody texted you, and then you text them back, you get that source of dopamine. But your trigger was the text message, right? Your trigger was somebody texted you, and then you had to go and reach for your phone and grab it. And you get that dopamine from texting that person. And then you set it down, and in a couple minutes, they text you again. So that's how you build that addiction with your phone. Actually, like, that's actually a growing problem. Like, too many people are attached to their phones, and they cannot, like, even in a meeting, they take out their phone, read the message, put it back. Like, even in the most serious situation, you still will take out your phone no matter what. Like, even at a funeral, like, that's something you just don't do, right? But you see it all the time. Well, if you go to funerals often, I hope you don't go to funerals often, so yeah.
Dude, it's my favorite task.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Above's a studying priest, so he's a holy man. I just
like seeing all the
lying.
sad women.
Okay. It's basically that's what dopamine detox is. And the reason why I bring it up is because I want to tell you something. I want to tell you how to trick your brain into doing difficult things, like reading books, like I said. So
Doing homework.
doing homework, right? Like if you see people who read books and you obviously get curious, you would ask them, hey, why are you reading books? Like, that's kind of boring, don't you think? They're like, no, I enjoy it. Like, how could somebody enjoy reading books? How could somebody enjoy working out every single day when you just lack the motivation? It's not that you lack the motivation. It's that you have the wrong mindset for it, right? And this is the steps. This is the steps to getting good at anything you love, or this is the steps to getting good at difficult tasks. I like saying those key concepts so you get a simple, small understanding of what the whole big picture is, right? So it's this. So it's exactly this thing. So like if, say, you were trying to get really, really good at a video game, or say you were actually trying to get into reading books, or you're trying to get into working out, whatever it is, right? So you got to get past the boring stuff, and that's obviously going to start when you start. So like when you lift weights for a week, you're not going to notice any progression. You're just hurting your body. That's kind of boring, and it also sucks. But once you get past the boring parts, so there's something called the trigger, and that's the text message. When you get the text message in your brain, it starts to crave the dopamine more because you got the trigger from it, right? So if it was lifting weights and you got past the boring part, and the trigger was you noticed that your arms were slightly bigger in the mirror, that you can use that. You can use that fuel to come back into the gym the next day. I want bigger arms. Like, you want to keep going, or maybe whatever your goals is, you notice you were slimmer in the mirror. I want to be slimmer. I want to be slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. That's how it works. That creates an effect, and that makes you do difficult things. So same thing with reading books. Say you read a book, you get past the boring stuff, because you always just have to get past the boring stuff. That's where the people fail. So you read the book, you get past the first few pages, and you find something you like. You're like, oh, and you reminisce with this, because you know that you always have to get past the intro of the book first. It always happens. But then you reminisce with the third chapter. You're like, oh, this is me. If it's like a self-help book, or like if it's a cleaning book, whatever it is, right? As long as you get past the boring part, and you get some enjoyment out of whatever it is, finally, you can use that enjoyment as a fuel. Like, I want to read more. I want to read more. I want to read other books. I want this feeling. Like, you build that habit of just getting into something you never thought you'd be doing. So it's a very scary thing. It's dopamine detox. You could do more research on it. And, in the way this is a gaming podcast, the way this is incorporated into the gaming is, if we're playing Fortnite and you don't think VOD viewing is a good strategy for Fortnite, Maroon's actually, I just said his name.
You
It's
guys
fine.
don't
It's
know
whatever.
who that
It's
is
what-
yet.
You don't even know who that is yet. So that's why I'm a little bit upset. But Maroons will know. So
He's
this
the boy.
guy, he basically didn't know what VOD viewing was, and he absolutely thought it was useless. Everybody who plays Fortnite thinks it's useless at the start. But what he began to realize was every time he VOD viewed, he got substantially better, or somewhat better at the game that he was playing. And he always, or at Fortnite, the game he was playing, and he always came back to it. Obviously, because he built up that the reward is winning. The trigger is VOD viewing. So every time he'd go back to VOD viewing, and he developed that habit, he actually likes VOD viewing now, which is, something that he never thought he'd be doing. So that's a dopamine detox, and that's how it develops in your life, and you don't even know about it, right? So you always come back to it. It's kind of like drugs. But, I mean, it's not, because drugs have side effects. But yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. And, it's a good strategy. You should obviously use it. You should look it up a little bit more yourself. You should do some research on it. There's a good video on it in TED Talks. They have it. It's a really, really good tool to get past the mental barrier of learning, because you have to learn in the game that you play, no matter what.
It may or may not be linked in the description.
It may or may not be linked in the description. Next is going to be creating a healthy environment in the approach to the game, and unhealthy relationships as an example of approach to the game. And above, I actually want you to start me off on this topic, because I started talking in the first episode.
Okay. So, all right. So I would recommend a lot of people try to look objectively at their relationship, not only with the game, but with all the people around you, and see how it affects your environment. So, as someone who tries to go pro in a game, you need either a positive environment, which is extremely difficult to get in games, or a environment where you guys are all rewarding each other for playing the game, you know? Whether it be, oh damn, that's a really good montage. Oh, nice. You know, if I'm going to talk to my friend who's trying to go pro in Fortnite, and I'm like, damn, dude, you shit on that kid. I see your mechanics have gotten a lot better. You really understand how to shit on kids now. You can box that kid every single day of the week, treat him like a fucking flopper, turn him into a fruit smoothie. You know, he's rewarded from that. He goes, oh, let's go, let's go. Fucking above called me good at the game. I'm gonna get better. So that's how you create a healthy, you know, that's creating a healthy environment, is trying to make your environment with the people you play with and with the game stronger and, you know, more positive. It'll create you to have a stronger, more healthy, positive connection to the game. It'll make you want to come back more. So examples of an unhealthy relationship or an unhealthy environment is when you join a call, right? You join your fucking Discord server. You guys are like, all right, let's get on. Let's fucking grind today. And you guys are all like, you consider each other friends, right? And you guys, you know, one day you just sit there and you realize, wow, we're just talking shit to each other. We're not friends. We're just here. The only reason that we talk to each other is because we all play the same game. Might not be, you might not spend time with each other, like, regardless if it's outside the game or outside Discord or outside, you know, in real life or whatever. You guys might not be spending actual time together. You might not be talking. You might not be joking around. You might not be sitting in a Discord call with them while you're editing or while you're doing work or something. You know, you if you aren't creating those bonds with the people that you're playing with, then it's not going to be positive. It's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be good. Because a lot of the times, especially in Fortnite, all the kids are super toxic. So if you invite some East Open, West Open kid into your fucking server, and you're like, what up, man? What up, I don't know, we'll use some fucking, what up, Clicks for 2069, Bob the Builder 15, you know? How you doing today, man? And he just goes, wow, you guys are fucking dog shit at this game. I shit on that kid in a 1v1. You know, he's already bringing a negative environment into where you guys are. He's already creating an unhealthy relationship. So.
True words spoken. Honestly, that I completely agree with that. I think above, you used to suffer. I mean, I think actually no, you used to be the cause of an unhealthy relationship with people. 100%. I mean, I wouldn't disagree. You'd hop into a call and you'd be like, "Yo, listen up." That was your style of coaching though. So it used to be. You're a lot
Hey,
better
listen,
now.
that was 1 month into the coaching, so you know.
True, yeah.
Cut
Your
me some
coaching
slack
method
with it.
used to be like, "Hey, listen up, you shitters. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. You're trash." Like honestly, that was your method of approach. I mean, it's like
It was successful for the people that I used it on, but I didn't use it correctly after.
Right.
So
And then
it's
last
not a
but not
viable
least,
option.
there's gonna be a short episode because we're only going on these subjects for a couple minutes. Actually, we want our episodes to be shorter. We honestly stand our conversation on too long, and we don't want to ruin your guys' day by making this podcast too long to listen to, or maybe you
Hopefully
want
we
them
get it on
longer.
Spotify, so you don't have to sit here looking at our fucking bubbles.
Yeah, but it just depends. I don't know what you guys want from the podcast. Maybe you want to hear longer sessions. Maybe you don't want to hear longer sessions. It's up to you guys. If you get to this part, make sure to leave it in the comments. And if I see 0 comments, I'm going to be really upset. So you better put a goddamn comment now if you get to this point, because I'm going to be upset if you don't. So do you
I'm gonna
want,
comment with
the
the
question is,
timestamp, I
do
swear
you
to God.
want longer podcast sessions, or do you want shorter ones so you can, like, 10-minute ones so you can get some good information for the day and still go on through your day? Just, let
We
us
could
know.
do like one topic podcasts every like day, and we
Yeah,
could probably just upload 3 or 4 a week. If you
Yeah,
guys
because
really want.
then it's more dependent on your schedule. How many podcast episodes do you want to watch, right? So,
Right.
just if you get to this point, leave a goddamn
Let
comment. I'm gonna
us
cry.
fucking know.
Okay, yeah.
Please.
So last but not least is going to be the responsibility of putting in work to your game, right? This is freaking huge. This is absolutely huge because here's the thing. If you're setting a major goal in a game, so if you want to go pro or if you want to go to a high rank and you're silver, you're going to have to put in a lot of hours, a lot. So you must understand the responsibility of putting in a ton of hours into the game. So this is a huge problem that like causes people to fail in school, like slack at their job, like actual relationships with their girlfriend because you're too busy trying to game and you're not showing her enough attention. I mean, this all stems from not balancing a healthy relationship with the game. So that's basically what this is, right? So I want you to understand something. If you're going to actually want to get good at this game, make sure you find a balance. Make sure you're, do I want to put in this much hours a day? Do I have the time to put in this much hours a day? If you're young, you're 13, and you're already wanting to go pro, that's really good. You have big ambitions, right? And that's really, really helpful. But, make sure you have your priorities set. Make sure you're doing good in school and you're not setting yourself up to fail, because a lot of people who I know that are pro were failing in school, right? And you can't play the video game 10 hours a day and expect to be learning at school, because when you wake up exhausted from gaming so hard, or maybe you game really early at 6 in the morning and then you try to go to school at 8 and you're just really mentally exhausted and you just want to play your game, then make that a trigger. Use the dopamine detox effect. And if you're skipping this, then go back to it. But you could use the trigger to finish school, and then I can play my games. If I finish school, I can play my games. If I finish school, I can play my games. So, you know what I mean? Like, use that as a trigger. You'll actually find the balance in between, just from using the trigger being school and using the reward being video games. So your brain's going to find peace at that, right? It's not going to be, I'll just skip school and play video games, right? So don't do that. Don't be that stupid. Put your priorities first. Because you're not even pro yet. If you're pro, I mean, like, this is probably not good advice. You should definitely get school done. But if you're pro and you're making tons of money and it's a steady income and you're making like $100,000 a year playing Fortnite at the age of 15, then you can not care about school. But for the rest of you people who are hard stuck silver in Valorant and can't even get out of opens in Fortnite, you need to set your priorities first before you even thinking about going pro. So, responsibility. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, and to you, like, 16, 17-year-olds that are trying to make a career out of gaming, regardless of what it is, finish high school. Like, finish high school. I mean, I don't care about your fucking grades. I don't care about what college you want to go to. Get the goddamn diploma. That's really all you need. As soon as you get that diploma, your parents, I swear to God, they will be off your ass. As long as you either get a job or explain to them what you want to do, as long as you get that fucking diploma.
Yeah, I mean, both of us can say that is absolutely truth. Yeah, is if you show them, because your parents need to see results. Your parents aren't like you; they don't understand what you're doing. That's just the generation we live in. But just show them, like, hey, I'm actually focusing in school. My grades are going up, just because you're making school a priority, and make sure your grades are good and you're not failing. So yeah, above is pretty much right there. Make sure you either get a job, make sure that they don't have a son to worry about. So yeah, I think that's honestly, yeah. Well, I don't even know what our time is. I definitely should put a timer on the screen for myself just to see how long we could do, like 15 minutes per topic or something like that. Try to stretch that out if we know we need to. But, yeah, we're probably going to wrap it up because there's not much we honestly have to talk about. We could extend the conversations, but we also don't want to get in the way of your gaming time. So, this has been the 4th episode of the podcast. Many more to come. Make sure to check out our socials. We still haven't linked them in the description because we're the laziest people on the goddamn podcast, laziest people on the goddamn internet. And you best believe it, because I'm still not going to link them. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you still listening, biatch? All right.